Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Talk Anime News. I'm Jared, your host. My co-host Christian isn't with me this week, but we've got Crane here today.
Yo, how's it going, everyone?
And we got some big news to talk about before we got the usual plugs. Definitely check out our Attack on Titan autographed wall scroll giveaway. We got almost the entire cast on there, so definitely give that a look. We're giving it away for free, along with $300 to a charity. And all you have to do is subscribe and comment on the video for your chance to win that. And then also, check out our buddy Blake Shepard. He's a voice actor if you don't know already. He's got a show he's working on, Robot Girl. Link below is going to be for his Patreon to help him support doing that. He's got a bevy of reward tiers on there. Definitely some awesome stuff. I'm a Patreon on there myself, and I can assure you, you get some really cool stuff. And also check us out on Twitter at the Ohio Guys to keep up to date with everything that's going on with us here. And check out our Let's Play of games as well. I know Mike, I think, has got 3 games going on right now that he's doing. He's been doing Friday the 13th, Senran Kagura, Estival Versus, and Dream Daddies, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't remember what Zach is doing right now. And as for myself, I'm doing Nekopara Volume 3, and I just started Senran Kagura Bon Appetit today.
Ooh, nice. Any fun?
It's hard. It's really, really hard. For anyone who doesn't know, it's a rhythm game. But anyways, let's get right into the news this week, and let's start with the biggest story. Anime's news network was hacked.
Great.
Luckily, nothing too bad happened with it. They just took the site down. But
But but still, it's just ridiculous. Is that why would someone hack A&N? Because I'm pretty sure they're not out to make money,
no, they're really
and
not.
so there's no money involved. So what's the purpose of doing that? Is it just to be a worldwide dickwad? What is it?
That's what I would assume. But I believe the main site, animenewsnetwork.com, is still down. But
Yeah.
animenewsnetwork.cc is up and running. That's their backup site, so everything's all
I'm trying
good
to
there.
I'm trying to remember .cc. Which domain or at least which country would that be from? Because I know it's not China.
Is it Canada?
Yeah, it might be.
I'm not sure if it's Canada or not, but that would make sense to me.
Because I know for China it's .cn. So
Right. Christopher McDonald, the CEO of Anime News Network, posted
hmm
a little article on how the website was hacked. Um, Apparently, a hacker contacted his cell phone company to initiate the transfer of his number to a new SIM card.
hmm
Somehow, he convinced the representative from his cell phone company to let him transfer the number to a SIM card, which allowed the data of the web of his login information, I believe, to be transferred. Um,
yeah.
and that's kind of how the whole process started.
Hmm.
And apparently, it's pretty easy to find his phone number. It's just on a business card, and it's on every email he sends. Um,
Oh.
yeah. So once they got control of his cell phone number, they were able to do like the account recovery feature of the website. That's what it was. That's how they were able to get control of it. And it looks like, yeah, they transferred the ANN domain name to register in Hong Kong.
Ah.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like it's like a disgruntled person from the forums or something. It just seems like somebody
Yeah.
wanted to hack it and transfer it.
Yeah, because basically that is the in terms of like hacking or stealing information and stuff. Cell phones are actually the new hot thing on how to get into stuff because everyone is so used to plugging their computers and emails to their phones, and phones can't handle as much power and data, so it's much easier to hack a phone.
Exactly.
So,
And just a little bit more news about it. The hackers are now theoretically able to read any email that's sent to the AnimeNewsNetwork.com. So if you are a member on there, do not send them to the .com domain. Send them to the .cc. That's the good one right now. But it looks like, let's see, he fixed a couple issues with that. They're moving all the domain registrations to a more secure domain register once AnimeNewsNetwork.com is back. Um, and I'm trying to see here. I don't see where if like people's accounts were hacked as well. It looks like they might have been, but I I can't tell for sure. He didn't update on that.
No, I think they did comment somewhere before in the forums that their
Oh, here it is.
the users' personal
Yeah.
information should be safe. It was mainly people who operated ANN.
Yeah. What it says is the hackers never compromised the servers, so it was just the domain name they were able to transfer over. So as long as people aren't emailing them at the .com right now, you should be fine. There was nothing, no personal information leaked at all. But that was kind of the biggest story from this past week. I
True.
still don't understand why somebody would want to hack that website, but who knows? Maybe they just wanted to do it for the hell of it. Maybe they wanted to try to steal the domain name. I don't know.
I don't know. It's like, at least, because I don't condone hacking, but at least the people that did HBO, at least they're trying to get money out of that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother uh, situation there. Those hackers are dicks.
True.
I'm
I
not saying
know.
that
Aren't they
these
like
ones that
really
hacked
scam?
ANN aren't dicks, but like, it's just an anime news site essentially, and like reviews, and there's nothing really on there that you could want. I don't believe they have a store or anything like that, so there's no credit card information.
No, I do know they provide links to DVD prices.
Right.
So,
So
and
maybe
so,
they were
I don't
trying
know.
to do that so they could get people to go to false websites or something. I don't know. That's a possibility. Or maybe it
That's
was just a
possible.
disgruntled person from the forums on there, because I know some people do get a little heated on there. And,
Yeah, and they could be a bit nasty.
right, and they could have just been like, you know what? Screw this. We're going to hack your website and take you down. Who knows? But
Yeah,
everything should be back up in due time.
true.
But anyways, we got a few little updates here on the Funimation, uh, the deal that they worked out with Sony to be sold to them. No huge news, but just a little fallout from that since our last video where we just talked strictly about that. Funimation Entertainment posted a facts page regarding the purchase, so they just went over some small details that we had already discussed. The company noted that its streaming service, simuldubs, release schedules will continue unchanged, which that's to be expected. I don't see why anything like that would change. Services to regions outside the United States, the UK, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand will also remain unchanged. And additionally, the Hollywood Reporter recorded Sony Corporation CFO, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name, comment from Sony earnings announcement in Tokyo. We have IP across Funimation, Aniplex, Animax, and PlayStation platform. The challenge is to connect them all organically. So it looks like maybe eventually they're just going to roll it all into one thing for the PS4
Yeah,
for a streaming
basically.
service, I would assume. On I don't know if I mean from just speculating here, like they have all of these IPs now. What and I don't know why they might not. Well, they might combine them at some point. It seems like from that statement. At least he
You know
acknowledges
what
that
I,
they have them all.
you know what I could see them doing? It could be like a combination of like it's like a hybrid between like a Roku box and a PS4, where you don't have to necessarily go through a cable company to get streaming services through these companies, but maybe have them as apps on your PS4. That's probably what they could do.
Right.
And if they own a good portion of that company, basically they could charge whatever they like.
Yeah, it seems like more or less that they're just going to try to roll all of that into a channel for the PlayStation 4. That's what it seems like here. That's what it
Yeah,
seems like he meant. Um,
yeah. Oh, I was about to say. And for you viewers who are wondering about the Japanese CFO, his name is Kenichiro Yoshida.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
I know Funimation noted in its fact page that the deal with Sony does not involve Aniplex at all, but there's no reason to speculate that it might not involve them down the road at some point.
That's possible because they just recently acquired Funimation, I don't see them doing anything with at least attempting to combine them with Aniplex anytime this year. They might plan it out next year because that's how things work with big corporations. They go in terms of like big decision or big plans. They go by annual plans. That's usually how it works.
Right. So that's something. Just some small little updates there. Um, Also, on a side note of that, I don't know if this had to do with the Funimation being sold to Sony or not, but Christopher Bevins is leaving Funimation. He did a Twitter post
Yeah,
about that. I know it's who knows what that, only he knows, and maybe a few close people around him, but it's regardless, it's sad to see him leave that company. He's been there forever.
yeah, yeah. Because he did. I liked his directing work at Funimation. I really did.
Oh yeah, he was one of the most consistent directors there. I mean, he was there for 16 years.
True, and I'm just wondering, it's like with him going to LA, will he still be able to obtain the same type of work or the same amount of work that he did compared to Funimation?
Well,
That is the real question.
what he could still do um is he can still write for Funimation as well, I believe. I
Oh yeah,
know a
that's
lot of
true.
people in LA do that, like what Patrick Seitz does that. He still writes scripts and
Yeah,
stuff for Funimation. So,
yeah, he still writes, but not as much as he used to.
right. So, I mean, that's a possibility. He could do that on the side along with getting work in LA.
Yeah, it's very possible. I'm just wondering, it's like what does he plan to do in LA? That's what I truly would like to know.
I would assume something with directing or writing or some sort of a thing with the anime industry to a certain extent. And that's what he's based his career on.
True.
So I'm sure he's not going out there without a plan, and I'm sure he'll resurface sooner rather than later.
True. It's just a matter of time. And who knows? Maybe he'll do more than just anime. He could possibly do work in like video games.
Oh, he definitely could. I could see him doing that as well.
That's true.
Also, Funimation announced a couple dubcasts these past 2 weeks as well. They finally revealed the dubcast for In Another World with my smartphone. It's got some pretty good people on it. It's got Tia directing.
Mhm.
I know she's done some work.
True.
The writer for the script is Aaron Desmuke, and I don't think I've ever seen him write a script before.
Nah, I'm not familiar with him script writing.
I mean, I'm not saying that he hasn't, but I'm just not familiar with him doing it. But
Yeah.
that's definitely interesting there.
So
It's starring Josh Grell, Leah Clark, Jill Harris, and Barry Yandel
it's like
as the
so
main
far the
cast.
cast is pretty solid.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid cast. I mean, also they only listed the cast for the first two episodes.
Yeah.
So you've got Caitlin Glass, Mark Stoddard, Natalie Hoover, Christopher R. Sabat, Saren Weidenhoft, Michelle Rojas, and Ben Phillips as well in the show. So I think you got a pretty solid cast there.
Yeah.
Definitely a good director. I know Tia's done uh,
Yeah. She does some good
a
stuff here and
handful of
there.
shows now, so
Hmm.
she's got to be doing something right to keep getting those shows. I haven't personally seen any of the shows that she's worked on,
Hmm.
so I can't say from experience. But if they're still throwing her shows, she's got to be doing a good job. But they also announced the dub cast for Chronos Ruler as well, which this one looked pretty interesting to me. It's got Jerry
Sure.
Jewell, Chris Weinkapp, Natalie Hoover again, Chris Rager, Michaela Krantz, Sean Gann, and Mark Stoddard again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because Jerry Jewell is not only directing the show, but he's also going to be the main character. So I guess you could say it'll be one of his uh, one of his new children.
Right. And I always look forward to hearing Jerry in a show. He always does a fantastic job. He's been around forever.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's always fun to hang out with.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was fun seeing him earlier this year, and
Yeah, it
definitely
was
looking
at
forward to seeing him
Katsu.
next time.
Yep, I'd say potentially we might see him in Columbus if we go.
Right, that's right. He's going to be at, I believe, OhioCon, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely a convention I'm strongly considering, though, since I moved. Instead of being 3 hours away from Columbus, I'm like 10 hours, or not, probably not 10 hours, but
You
probably
look
pretty
about
close to
nine.
that, 9 hours away. So I would have to fly. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, all I could say is, if would it be better for you to fly in through to Columbus or to Akron?
Oh, I could do either or.
So I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm still considering that one, but Uh, Funimation also announced the dub cast for Space Patrol Luluco, and I
All
am
right.
super excited for this show. This is the most excited I've been for a Funimation show in the last like 3 years. Uh,
Yeah, because I'd say everything is very solid on this, all the way from the director, the writer, and the cast.
oh yeah, I mean we've covered this in a previous episode, but Christopher Bevins is directing, John Burkmeyer is writing it, and then you've got
Yeah.
starring in it is Brittany Karbowski. She plays Luluco. And on top of that, I mean, you got Justin Briner, Jamie Markey, Brett Weaver, Monica Rial, Bob Carter, Mike McFarland. That is a hell of a cast.
Oh yeah. And for anyone that has seen the trailer, you'd probably like it because it's very, at least the art style specifically, it's very similar to like Kill a Kill and Panty and Stocking.
Yes.
And I'd say in the past, both shows have been rather successful.
Oh, those are some of fans' favorites over the last, what, half a decade now?
Hmm.
And it's Studio Trigger that made the show, so that's why the art style is very similar. And I'm a huge fan of Studio Trigger. I enjoy pretty much everything that they do. So I am super excited for that show.
Yeah, same here because they don't always try to do they always try to bring in like a new concept in an anime, not do cookie cutter concepts all the time.
Right, they kind of do their own thing away from like anybody else, which is really neat.
Hmm.
But also, Funimation announced its November release schedule, and they've got some decent shows on there. I don't know what they are for most of them, to be completely honest. But they're going to be
Yeah.
releasing Kitty Girl and Hybrid X Heart, Myrid Colors Phantom. What else do we got here? Future Diary. They're
Genocidal.
putting that on a combo pack, so I'm assuming that's the entire show. First Love Monster, Hanada-kun, Cheer Boys, Genocidal Organ, Speed Racer. That's going to be coming out then.
Yep.
91 Days is also coming out in November, and the first
Ooh,
season of
not
New
bad.
Game. They got a lot of stuff coming out in November. Good lord.
Yeah, it makes sense on why they're doing that because Christmas sales.
Right, Christmas. Well, not just that. I doubt these will go on a Christmas sale. They might, but releasing them around the holidays, like that many shows, you're more likely to sell them that around that time of the year.
Yeah, so it's actually from a marketing and a financial perspective, that's actually not a bad strategy.
No, not at all. Especially for something like the Speed Racer one, which is a pretty big box set. I
Hmm.
know it's a limited edition one, and it looks really neat. So that's something that would most likely sell around that time. But they also announced the dub cast for Genocidal Oregon as well.
True. Believe Clifford Chapin's directing the show.
Yes, yes, he is. He's directing it. Deborah Crane is the scriptwriter.
She's not related to me.
I was confused for a second. I was like, wait a second. I've never heard that name before.
No, I never have either.
Deborah
So I was
Crane.
like, hmm.
Interesting. No idea what that name is. It seems like it's got a pretty decent cast, or not just a decent cast. It's actually got a good cast. It's got Josh Garrell, Rico
For,
Fajardo, uh,
mhm.
Jeannie Torrado, Ian Sinclair, Christopher
Ooh,
Sabat, Clifford Chapton's also playing in it, as well as
ooh, David
directing.
Wald.
Yes, David Wald and Joel McDonald.
Not bad.
No, it's got a pretty good cast. Um,
Hmm.
I believe it's a 3D style show too. It's what it looked like from the artwork to me. So it's a different type of a show too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Um, Funimation wasn't the only one on the move with dubs. Aniplex actually,
Oh.
they streamed
Yep.
the Anohana English trailer.
Yeah, right now they for their main characters they have Griffin Burns and Xanthi Hui, Erica Lenbeck, Ray Chase, Erica Mendez, and Kaji Tang working on the show.
And if this is anything like when Toradora
And C
got
Tang,
dubbed, I'm super excited because Toradora dub was nailed after it being just on the sub list for I don't know how long.
I'd say about 2 years. I think
Oh
it
no,
feels
no,
like it.
Toradora. It was released. Shoot, I don't remember the exact time it was released, but I know it was probably like 4 or 5 years before it got a dub.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was a long time. Like I wasn't even expecting a dub of that, and then NIS decided to dub that, and I think they dubbed like what one other show, and that's all they've ever done.
Hmm.
But I mean, this is done in the same area in California, so it's the same quality. Um, a lot of similar voice actors. So I'm expecting good
True.
things from this one, especially since Anohana is one of my personal favorite shows. It's in my top five.
And then I gotta say, man, Kaji Tang's been on fire this
Dude,
year.
he's been in everything.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But no, it's a good thing though. I like his work
Oh, so
so
do I.
far.
I'm definitely a fan.
Hmm.
And then this weekend at Otakon, which is actually going on right now, we're recording this on Saturday, August 12th. Sunrise released that they're going to be doing a new dub of Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny. Yeah, I did not see that coming.
No, because usually they don't want to redub Gundam. They
Yeah,
usually don't.
especially for one that I don't. It's hit or miss with fans with this show. Like, if you're a fan of Gundam Wing, pretty much everybody that I know is a fan of Gundam Wing does not like this at all. I like Gundam Seed personally, but
I really can't voice an opinion because I never really did get into Gundam. Because I guess you could say I got scared away with how many episodes it has altogether as a series, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm gonna work on other stuff for
right.
now.
I remember I watched this show on TV while I was growing up. I don't remember if it was on Toonami or if it was on G4 when that was still a thing. But it'll be weird hearing it with a whole different cast. I don't know how I feel about it, but they're completely remastering the series as well.
Um, Actually, in terms of that feeling, I kind of know what you mean because I'm currently working on Sayuki Reload. Not Reload Blast, but Reload. And I first watched the ADV dub of Sayuki, and now I'm listening to the LA cast. And I'll admit, it does feel weird, but at the same time, you can kind of compare. I wouldn't want to say you want to compare, but you can kind of say, "Ooh, I like this actor with this character more," and go from there.
Well, the thing that I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not is what they do with the character in the show Mu Laflaga, because I really liked his voice actor. I don't remember who did it off the top of my head. I believe it was done in Canada. I want to say that's where that series was dubbed originally.
It's very possible.
I can't. It's been a while since I've watched the show. I've watched it 2 or 3 times over the years. Um,
Hmm.
it's one of my favorite Gundam series. I know I'll probably
Hmm.
catch some heat for that in the comments section that it's one of my favorites. And yes, I do love Gundam Wing as well. I do. But I really like this one too. But I mean, it's
But
got a hell of a cast list, and Carrie Caranan is going to be directing it. So, I mean, it looks like
true.
on paper, it looks like it's going to be fantastic. Like it really does. But it's just got that show has like that nostalgia factor for me.
Yeah, and I've kind of learned that it's just best not to toy around with nostalgia because you never know if it's gonna support you much more, or it's going to backfire and blow up in your face. You never know.
Exactly. But I guess I'm feeling now what like people from or fans of like Sailor Moon felt with the re-release and redubs and everything else that's been going on with that,
True.
and the new
It's like,
series with new voice actors. So
yeah, I figure for our viewers, I say the best thing you guys could do is just try it out, give them a chance, and if you like it, awesome. If not, then just move on to another show.
right. And I mean, it does have a good cast list here too. It's got Max Middleman, Chris Hackney, Stephanie Shea, Sandy Fox, Cher Millet, Erica Mendez, Lucian Dodge, Cassandra Morris, Colin DePaula, Eddie Lee, Damian Mills, Johnny Young Bosch, and Casey Magillo, sorry, or
I think it's
Mongillo.
Mongello.
Yeah,
Or,
Mongillo.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, so it's got a good cast list. So I don't know. I'll give it a shot. I'm open for it.
Hmm.
And if I don't like it, I can always just go online and find the old versions and purchase those.
True.
But in other news, Studio Trigger, they announced some teasers for one of their new shows that's going to be coming out in the near future, Darling in the Franxx. And this show, I know I left the artwork up on the notes here, Crane, if you want to take a look at that.
Hold on a minute. But yeah, children without names. Hmm? Wait a minute. Is this what I think it is?
What do you mean?
Huh. Oh my gosh. You know who the main female lead looks like?
Yes,
Yeah, it looks like. Oh my god.
Lucy
Looks like. Yeah,
from
from Elfin
Eisenland.
Lead.
It looks interesting though. Like there's no details about the show yet besides this
Yeah.
visual and the teaser previews that they did for the main characters, but
Hmm.
it looks really interesting. I mean, the character designer for it did Gurren Lagann.
Ooh.
Or I mean, he's not the character designer for this. He was the character designer for Gurren Lagann. He's directing this. So I mean, it's got the good pedigree behind it. I mean, the chief animation director worked on Magi and Sound in
Hmm.
the Sky. So I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for anything Trigger personally.
True. It's like based on some of the trailer. I don't know. It looks interesting because I want to say maybe like a thriller drama or thriller action.
I
That's what I
honestly, I
get
have
the
no
feeling.
clue. Could not tell you, but I'm excited.
True.
I mean, even from just this little visual, I mean, it looks really good. So we'll have to wait and see. Also, apparently there's more coming out for the Sword Art Online franchise. They're going to be making a new announcement here in October about what's next for it. So could be another movie, could be another TV special, could be another TV show. Who knows? I think the show's garbage, absolute trash. I think that the people who worked on it did a fantastic job, not taking away from them at all. The voice actors, all the directors, animators, everything. You guys did fantastic. I just think the story's trash. Just throwing that out there. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd say for the show, it's like if you want a more decent story, like similar concept and everything. I heard Log Horizon is very similar in many cases.
Much slower pace, much more realistic, it feels like, for that type of genre. Or you could even go
Hmm.
back and watch Dot Hack, something
Oh
like that.
yeah, that's a classic series there.
Right. Or even something like ReZero, similar, where
Hmm.
somebody goes into a different world. I know it's not quite the same, where it's inside of a video game, but something like that. But there's a new project coming out for that for any fans of the show. Like I said, I'm personally
Yeah,
not a fan of it. I think it's complete dumpster fire. But
I would say based on the art style that they gave to the public, I would say it's probably not another anime series. Probably not. It looks like it's going to be another film or possibly a video game.
yeah, it
But
could be
I
a video
say
game.
I'd say it looks more likely it'll be another film.
Yeah, either another film or video game. That would be my best guess as well.
Yeah, because generally when they try to do another anime series, they want to try and keep the anime style very pretty much the same.
Right. Um, but in other news, Netflix announced a ton of stuff. Since when did Netflix
Uh-huh.
start trying to become a huge player in anime?
I
Like, I know they've
say
always been
since,
around with some of it, but it's like they're jumping on the hype train too.
I'd say since everyone else has been jumping on, I'd say since Amazon. I say Amazon really put a kick in the pants on everybody. Let's be honest.
Right.
I think that's why everybody is. For example, even though it's not anime related, but Disney, and it is relevant to Netflix as well. Disney now wants to pull their shows off of Netflix so they can do their own streaming channel.
Right.
And it's like, me personally, on that move particular, I don't support it because then that means you're just gonna have to subscribe most likely to another channel,
Right.
and
And
it's like,
the whole point of like having Netflix and stuff is you kind of and Hulu and stuff like that is you use it as like a cable substitute, which is cheaper. But if you're starting
yeah,
to get all these individual companies that are like, you know what, we'll just make our own streaming service, it's just going to be the same thing as cable eventually.
yeah,
That's what it feels like it's heading towards.
yeah. Damn it.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a fan of that, but anyways, Netflix announced a bunch of anime. They're going to premiere Sword Guy anime in spring next year. And most of these ones that they're going to be doing are going to be Netflix originals. So we're not going to have, for most of them, we're not going to have the issue where they're picking up a show that's currently streaming in Japan and then it's not available anywhere else because of that. Like the new Fate
And
series or Kakaguri, which,
mhm.
which, give me a second here.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Screw you, Netflix, for doing that. By the way, that pissed me off because I really wanted to watch both of those shows, and now I have to wait or watch them on some other unlicensed uh, website that's not giving back to the anime community, which I don't like to do.
But I would say though, when it comes down to like Netflix, just producing their own anime and everything, whenever they do produce their own series and stuff, the quality is generally really good. For example, Seven Deadly Sins or even Castlevania. It's like it seems like whatever they work on personally, it usually turns out decent.
Right. I mean, all these shows that they're announcing sound good. Like this, like the Sword Guy anime. Story revolves around Guy, or yeah, I think that's how you pronounce that.
Yeah.
Yeah, who was born beside a woman who met her death in a forest. He was adopted by the swordsmith Amon. A few years later, he becomes Amon's apprentice, and during the forging of a sword, he loses his right arm. To help him, Amon crushes the demon sword, Death Dragon, to
Sure.
form it into Guy's replacement right arm. So, sounds like an interesting premise to start it off with.
Yeah, interesting. Just I don't know how they're going to do that because well, the way I'm picturing it is that there's a sword attached to his arm and he's just waving it around like crazy.
I think he turns it into like some sort of robotic arm, is what it's supposed to be.
I
Similar to
know.
that, and I'm assuming there's probably still like a blade that either comes out of it or is somewhat attached to it in some sort.
I know. My imagination is rather interesting to say the least.
Right. They also announced the show AICO Incarnation. It's going to be a sci-fi anime, which I'm always excited for more sci-fi anime. It's a pretty small subgenre for the most part.
Yeah, because if you think about it, there hasn't really been nearly as much sci-fi coming out these days.
Not really, no.
So it's like I've noticed that when it comes down to the sci-fi genre, there's only like one every here and there, or they come out in a bunch at a time.
Right. And
I don't know. It's unpredictable.
this one sounds interesting too. Uh, the story of it is in Japan in the year 2035, an accident known as the burst occurs during a research project spawning an out of control artificial life form called matter. I think that's a dumb name for it, but I'm game to
Eh,
watch the show, that has spread throughout the Kurobi Gorge. The research city that was once hailed as the hope for humanity is cordoned off by the government. 2 years later, 15-year-old Aki Tachibani, who lost her family in the burst, learned something unbelievable from Yuya Kazuki.
Kentucky.
Kanzuki, yes, a new
Yeah.
student at her school. A secret is hidden within her body, and the answer to the puzzle lies at the primary point that was the center of the burst. Uh, Akio resolves to infiltrate the restricted area, escorted by a team of divers, and so on and so forth. The fate of humanity is in their hands.
You know what? You really want to hear my honest opinion on this?
Yes,
This sounds very cookie cutter in many
I was
ways.
just thinking that as I read it. I mean, I'm not saying that it can't be good, but just from the description, it does sound cookie
Yeah.
cutter. Like, something horrible happened. This person is harboring something that's a key to it.
Yep. And they're
Insert
going to meet
plot.
one special, and yep, and they're going to meet one special person to determine the fate of the world.
Oh yeah. God damn it.
I know.
it
I'm
sounds
sorry,
it
viewers.
sounds so cookie cutter.
I'm sorry if I come across as a dick, but when you get exposed to so many shows and see all the trends and shit, eventually you're like, okay, whatever, you know?
Right. I don't know. I mean, when it goes up on Netflix, I might check it out, might not. Who knows at this point? We'll see. Also, they announced that they're going to be streaming a new Baki anime series as well.
Yay!
You seem excited about that one.
Yeah, of course. I know our friend Christian would be a huge fan of that too.
If only he was here right now.
Yeah, we're worried about you, man. Where are you?
um, that seems pretty neat. I mean, it's going to be a 26 episode series for it too, so it's going to be a little bit longer.
Yay! It's like I miss those.
Yeah, definitely excited for that one. They're also going to be doing a CG version of Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Seiya
Mhm.
remake.
Wait, Saint Seiya remake.
Yeah, that's what that is. Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Seiya.
Ooh, that'll be nice because I'll give Saint Seiya credit. Credit is that just their uniforms and everything very different, very colorful, but it's weird, but it's really awesome. And I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like I like the different colors.
Right. It'll be interesting. I mean, that's something that's
Sure.
always somewhat popular.
Yeah, because
Netflix also revealed the staff cast visuals for B, The Beginning, which this show looks interesting to me. I mean, I
yeah, not
don't.
bad.
The story doesn't sound like extremely interesting, but the visuals look really nice, so I'm game for
Yeah,
giving it a shot.
I will say though, the visual looks nice and stuff, and this is kind of different, but the facial hair, at least the main character's beard, I don't know, it
It's a
looks
little
different.
weird, yeah, but I'm game for it. Looks a little patchy,
Yeah,
not perfect.
true. But maybe that's to help for bring out more of the character or his personality. That could be it too. So
Right. The story for this one: in a world powered by advanced technology, crime and action unfold, and the uh, archipelago. All right, you know what? In this nation of Crimonia, Kaku, the protagonist, uh, something with him is what it says. Seems like it's somewhat incomplete sentence. Anyways, Keith, the legendary investigator of the Royal Police Force (RAS), a mysterious criminal organization. A wide variety of characters race through fortified city as it is beset by the serial killer, Killer B, and a chain of crimes in the suspense drama. Sounds interesting to
hmm,
me.
true.
I'm all for a suspense drama show. I don't get enough of those.
True. Hmm. Especially the ones that pull at your heart a little bit.
Right. And then the one I was dreading, Kakaguri, which is airing in Japan as we speak right now. There's like 6 episodes of it out. Is not airing on Netflix until next year.
Well, I would get. Well, I'm wondering, can you ship liquor across state lines?
Yes, because I know that there's like subscriptions for stuff for like wine subscriptions. I think there's like
Yeah.
whiskey ones as well.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you
No,
can.
no, I was about to say because well, recently at work we going through all the liquor because some of it's supposed to be discontinued, and they were making sure, like price wise, that it'll be marked down and it doesn't go too low because of the state regulates on how far down you can regulate liquor prices.
Right.
And I was about to say, like, if I could find a good enough bottle, I'd send you one. Hopefully, it'll last you the year. That way, it's like, oh, I'm sobered up. I could go see the show.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I was like, where the hell is he taking this? And then it
Yeah.
clicked like halfway through. Um, no, in all seriousness with this is annoying. Like, how is this not annoying for any fan? Especially when the show is really good. Like, this show is great. And it's just a shame that people aren't going to be able to watch it legally for half a year or more.
Yeah, that's right, viewers. It's like they are being stinkers, but whatever you do, do not join the dark side and illegally stream your shit.
Exactly. Um, Netflix also unveiled. I know we've been going on about Netflix forever, it seems like now in this episode, but they announced a ton of stuff. Netflix unveiled two visuals for Sword Guy, the animation,
Mm-hmm.
which another sword show.
Yep.
I mean, we
Well,
already talked on this again, so I don't know why they felt the
yeah,
need to reiterate it again with their announcements, but
must be heavy marketing dollars going into that one.
that one sounded semi interesting. I mean, just touching on it
True.
again, but
Yeah, you can't go wrong with swords though,
yeah,
as long as the animation is unique.
right. So I don't know. I mean, they've touched on it a few times, so it seems to be like a show that they're probably going to heavily push.
Hmm.
I mean, other than that, Netflix announced they're going to be streaming LaShawn Thomas's Cannon Busters, the animated series.
Yeah, I like Cannon Busters.
There you go. Definitely keep an eye
It's
out
like,
for that
well,
one.
yeah, I wish I had a pair of Cannon Busters.
Yikes. Get out of here. Um, and they're also going to stream Violet Evergarden as well. Um,
Wait, oh, Violet. I thought you said violent. I'm
no,
like,
no,
huh,
Violet.
violence in the garden.
uh, which is about a certain point in time in the continent of Telis. A great war divided the continent into north and south. Has ended after 4 years. People are welcoming a new generation. A girl formerly known as the Weapon has left the battlefield to start a new life at CH Postal Service. Interesting. That's not
Huh.
where I was expecting this to go. There, she's deeply moved by the work auto memory dolls who carry people's thoughts and convert them into words.
This actually might be a very good show,
This sounds like it could be super sad.
but at the same time, because in a way, for the main character, in a way, it kind of reminds me of like Ryuni Kenshin in a way, where super badass in the war, doesn't want to deal with that crap, and so gives up their way of violence and does something very different from what they were doing.
Right.
But yeah, it could be a tier puller, which you know what, we haven't had a good one like that in a while. Let's be honest.
There's been some good ones. Your Lie in April, I believe that's one. I
Oh
haven't
yeah,
seen
that's
that
true.
one yet, but I'm pretty sure that one's extremely sad from what I've heard.
Yeah, but I'm pretty stone faced, so it takes quite a bit to get me going. Say the last one that really pulled at me a little bit was Angel Beats or and Clannad.
All those shows, those are legendary for that, especially Clannad. Good
True.
God, that show. So many feels. Um, Anyways, here at Otakon, that's happening this weekend, Viz Media announced some shows that they licensed as well. They announced.
Um,
Where is it?
Takane and Hana
Yes.
and the Young Master's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
So
They're also going to be publishing Shiro Minwa's RWBY manga in print as well.
yep, more Ruby. Woohoo!
Yay! And they also announced they licensed Mr. Asumatsu as well, which, if you scroll down to the image crane, then you probably know what the show is. Because it took me having to see a visual of it to even realize what that show was.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I've seen it in Japanese commercials and other stuff
same.
all the
I've never
time.
seen like anything about the anime. I've just seen that character like plastered all over the place.
Yeah, this gets like almost like Shin-Chan bizarre almost.
It looks like it. Yeah, it looks bonkers. So that's going to be.
So,
They licensed the 25 episode first season, and there's a second season coming out. Uh, I'm assuming that's coming out probably this fall.
yeah, most likely. It would make
Yeah, in
sense if they did
October.
it
Yep.
at that time.
Viz Media is going to simulcast the series. Neat.
Yay. Usually they don't.
No, usually they don't at all. Viz Media also earlier, not at Otakon, but they also streamed the English dub clip from Sailor Moon Crystal from the third season.
Mm.
So some more of the same. Some definitely good work
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah,
they gave
keep
a
the
little
fans happy.
little teaser there.
Okay, I'm not familiar with this streaming service, Daisuke.
Daisuke?
Yeah.
I have no idea. But anyways, Daisuke, they have an anime streaming service. It's going to end in October. It looks like some of their bigger stuff was you could watch Dragon Ball Super on there, the simulcast for free. That's still
Mhm.
going to be available as well. Um, they also, they streamed some pretty recent stuff. Like they streamed Uromaga Sensei, Grand Blue Fantasy as well, Mobile Suit
Ooh,
Gundam 00, and other Gundam
all right.
series as well. So look, they were working with Aniplex, Sunrise, Toei, TMS Entertainment, and others. I'm,
Hmm.
Detsu, Asutsuki, or Atsu, or ADK is what they're known as. They launched the service in April 2013, and it's already shutting down. Not 4 years
Yikes.
later, so it must not have been doing well.
No, because I never really heard of them, really.
Oh, Bandai Namco acquired them in
Oh,
March, so I guess
okay.
maybe they have their own streaming service that they're going to add to, or they just decided to shut them down for some reason, just to buy them and
It's
shut them down. That makes no sense to me, but
it's possible, but at the same time, what a lot of these streaming companies don't tell the public is the cost involved for streaming and stuff is very expensive.
oh yeah, and that's you got the upkeep of servers. That's the biggest thing,
Yeah, just the
and that's
upkeep
expensive.
and depending if you're popular or not, imagine trying to handle all the traffic and everything.
Right.
It gets very expensive.
So out goes one streaming service, and I'm assuming some other streaming service is probably going to take over because that seems to be the way to go now.
True, which I guess from a fan standpoint, it is somewhat frustrating, but at the same time, at least it will not leave the market entirely.
Right.
So
Yeah. They're still
that,
going to be doing Super for the foreseeable future, so that's cool
mhm.
as well. Also, if you want to watch it, you can also watch it on Crunchyroll too. I know they have it on there. Depending upon the region, though, I don't know which region that streaming service was available in.
I'm not sure
I don't
because
think it's North America.
okay, so probably Japan and Europe.
Yeah, it could be what Southeast Asia, that sort of area.
Well, I don't know. The way they do the region coding is it's very weird because I know for our region it's like the United States and Canada, and that's it.
Right. I don't know. It's interesting though. Maybe Bandai's gonna do its own streaming service, or do they even have a streaming service? I have no idea.
I don't think they do because I thought they folded a long time ago, didn't they?
Apparently not. Bandai
Hmm.
Namco Holdings acquired it, so
Oh yeah, you're talking about Bandai Namco. Okay,
yes, not just Bandai. Yes.
yeah.
So that's definitely interesting. Um, Now for a little oldie, Outlaw Star is going to be on Toonami again.
Yay! Haven't seen the show, but I plan to check it out.
Yeah, it's aired a few times on Toonami. I remember when it
It
first aired
is.
back on there in 2001. This
Yeah,
is
that
a
was a
great
long
show.
time ago.
I mean, it was very similar to Cowboy Bebop, but still felt like its own show. It was
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it. I rewatched it I think 2 years ago, and it held
Yep.
up, man. It's still good.
Yeah, and based on from what Toonami stated, they plan to replace. Um, they plan to put in Outlaw Star and take out Ghost in the Shell.
Well, Ghost in the
So
Shell's ending. That's why they're just putting in a new show in that slot.
yeah, that makes sense.
Which I'm surprised
And
they're not just switching over to Ghost in the Shell, the second gig,
yeah, that's
instead
actually
of
a good
just.
question.
Um, I don't pay attention too closely to Toonami because I've generally seen almost everything that's on it, or either I'm not interested, or I just can't keep up with the schedule of staying up that late on Saturday nights.
Usually what I do is I'm not really able to stay up, but because I have cable, I just go the video on demand and it has the new episodes up like the next day.
Oh,
So
that's a good option. I didn't even think about that.
yeah, so that's how I'm kind of able to stay up with Toonami. Because yeah, trying to do it every Saturday night, yeah, there's no way I could do it. But yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, because
Just a thought I had just now
yeah,
as I was thinking
yeah,
about it.
because I figure it gives me another show to check out on Toonami. Because I'd say the main one I'm checking out on there now is Hunter x Hunter.
I still have yet to watch anything about that. I need to do that.
It's actually a fun show. I like it.
I should get on that. Um, Crunchyroll had a few little announcements as well throughout the 2 weeks here. They've added a few more titles to their service
Yeah,
from Funimation.
and you thought there was never a girl
What?
online.
There's no girls online.
That's the title.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, I just changed the tone of voice just to throw you off a little bit.
No, I knew that. Yes, that show's going to be on there along with Peacemaker, Yatterman
Yeah.
Knight, Danganronpa, Blaze Blue, Alter Memory, Brothers Conflict. All those just got added to Crunchyroll, so that's neat.
Hmm.
They also
Yeah,
added.
yeah, Blaze Blue definitely.
Yes, definitely check that one out. They also added cannot speak this evening. Shattered
No-
Angels, Hall, Vexel, To, and let's see what else. Garo the animation, Bayonetta, Bloody Fate, King of Thorn, Tokyo Majin, uh, it, other stuff. They're just adding a ton. uh,
Problem is, I don't think we're going to be able to keep up with everything. That
oh no, I've given up on trying to keep up with everything. It's not possible. You have to pick and choose,
yeah, that's very true.
especially when you're trying to keep up with the current stuff coming out and your
Oh my
backlog.
God.
Oh man, it's rough.
Yeah, my backlog's crazy.
Same here. Um, Crunchyroll also announced that they're going to be streaming Juni Taisen, the anime, this October, and they're going to be hosting the voice actors at them at the Crunchyroll Expo that's happening.
Hmm. Nice.
Yeah, it's Crunchyroll's own convention. It's happening the end of this
Yeah,
month.
yeah, because I know they were talking about doing this like about a year ago.
Yeah, yeah. Last year's when they announced it. It looks pretty good. I mean, they got a really good guest list.
Yeah, I haven't really seen it.
I know Monica's there,
Ooh, nice.
and I know there's other voice or English voice actors as well. I think Caitlin Glass is going to be there, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken.
not bad.
But in my favorite piece of news that came out, hey Crane,
Yeah.
No Game No Life Zero. It's going to be in
Oh, of
U.S. theaters this
course.
fall, starting in L.A. on September 15th.
Yeah, which is from what I've heard, they're not bringing back the original cast.
It does have the original cast in it, but it's with this story, it's in a different arc of the show, where it's
Okay,
telling how things happened, how like the world came it to be how it is now.
so
It's like a
basically
prequel.
a prequel.
Yes, a prequel, but it was an actual arc in the show or in the manga.
Mhm.
So hope.
But
I
yeah, I'd
mean,
say
if
the
this is
next one
getting
was.
released in the U.S., it has to be doing well in Japan, I would assume.
Oh yeah, because
Which the better it does, the better outlook there is for a second season.
yeah, because I know it does well here in the United States. Because sometimes when you're shopping online through the studio, you can have them sorted by best selling, and I know No Game No Life is usually in the first 2 or 3 pages all the time. So.
Oh, it's extremely popular still,
Hmm.
but I'm hoping that it's coming to Raleigh. We'll see. If it
Yeah,
does, you know I'll
sure.
be there to see it.
Oh gosh, you have no doubt about it.
And
Because I know Lansing's getting better about doing anime films too. So.
this is a pretty big area here. I mean they got multiple conventions around the area, a gigantic one that's in Raleigh. So
Hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a show that, or not a show, if there's a theater that would actually have this. But it's
Yeah, and from
something
what
I'm
I've
gonna have
heard,
to
don't
keep an
they
eye
give
out
out?
for.
And I believe if you do attend like the showing and stuff, don't they give out like promotional posters as well?
They
Or.
usually do at shows like that.
Hmm.
But
But no, I see the next thing in news is one of my favorites is Umaru Chan's coming back for another season. Woohoo!
right, I know we touched on this a month or two ago when they officially announced it, but they did a promo video for it. And oh
Hmm.
man, is it going to be more ridiculousness?
More potato chips.
More cola! Super excited for that. I mean, the Japanese cast is coming back for it. Um, I'm just waiting for the announcement this fall that Sentai's picked it up because you know they're
Hmm.
going to.
Oh heck yeah!
And
After what we heard, what happened at ASEN, oh my goodness! Because wasn't the Sentai booth completely swarmed the entire weekend?
I think so. I think that's what Christian said.
Yeah.
But we got that. There's a new show coming out this fall. I know we touch on a few shows here and there that are going to be coming out. Not a lot of them, but this one really stuck out to me. It's called King's Game.
Huh.
It's a horror style show,
Yes.
and it sounds interesting, man. It was originally a mobile novel, which I have no idea what that means.
Uh, wouldn't it be like that virtual reality thing you had me try out?
No, I don't. I don't think so. I think it was just like a novel that was made for your phone or something. That's what it
Oh,
sounds
okay,
like.
so hmm.
But the story is an entire high school class of 32 people receive a message on their cell phones from a person only known as King. The messages contain orders that the students must obey or they risk the punishment of death. With their lives
Oh,
on the
I've seen the
line,
trailer on
yes, with their lives on the line, the students soon find out that the orders are getting more and more extreme as time goes on.
Oh, dude, guys, you definitely have to check this one out. I've seen a trailer on this before. Oh man, there it gets pretty good.
Oh, dude,
I'm not
I'm
gonna,
super excited for this show.
yeah, I'm not gonna tell you the details, but oh my gosh, hopefully you don't have a full stomach when you watch it.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be pretty graphic
Oh, graphic. Hmm.
to a
There's,
certain
I
extent.
wish
I
there was
mean,
more.
I'm assuming it's going to be kind of for a lack of a better word, fucked up.
Yeah, mine. That's what I like.
Oh, I know. There's not a lot of these types of shows that come out either, so I always am on
Oh,
the hunt for them when they do.
yeah.
Um, but onwards with the news, Nozumi launched a Kickstarter for Ara, the animation English dub. So that's neat.
Yeah, yeah. It'll probably do well.
If it
Maybe. I'm
reaches
not
its goal of 110,000, then there's going to be a dub recorded in New York.
nice.
So that'll be interesting. I mean, it's a little bit older show, but
True, but I know I got a couple like postcards from it whenever I bought stuff in the past.
right.
So it looks like it'll be a decent show. So
Yeah,
who knows?
I mean, the director who did this show directed Sailor Moon and Princess Tutu. So, I mean, it's got good pedigree behind it.
Hmm.
But our last bit of news this evening, My Girlfriend is a Show Bitch. They announced, well, not announced, but they aired the first promo video for it. It looks cute. I mean, I think it's going to be a typical high school anime comedy, but with a little slight twist to it, as of like they usually try to do. But it looks
Yeah,
interesting to me. I think I want to
yeah.
check it out.
No, I think what's funnier is the manga name.
Oh, the manga name is the best part. My girlfriend is a faithful virgin bitch.
Like, I gotta give credit to Japan. Where do they come up with stuff like that? Seriously,
No idea.
it's it's like, do I even want to know?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But that's the roundup of news from the last 2 weeks, guys. I think we got just about everything covered. We might miss a few things from Otakon maybe this evening or from tomorrow. I don't know if there's any more big announcements planned for that convention. But if so, we'll catch them on the next episode. But as always, definitely check out past episodes of the podcast. Our last episode was just about the Funimation uh, being sold to Sony. Also, check out Blake Shepard's Patreon for Robot Girl. That's definitely worth supporting. I think the show is going to be great. Check out our Twitter for more updates, and definitely check out our Let's Play of video games as well, where we are playing, what, I think about 5 or 6 different games between me, Zach, and Mike right now.
Hmm.
So definitely check those out. But thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. See ya.